this white paper aside because I'm going to use it to cut the back of the skirt, and I'm going to use this brown paper to cut the front. So now for the front, when you're cutting your skirt pattern, usually you either cut it on fold, that's like this, then you use this place as your center front, or you cut it single paper. Personally, I cut it on single paper if it's a plain skirt. But let's take for example, you want to sew this design here. It's expected that for you to be able to get the designs in front properly, you should cut your skirt on fold, you understand? But now for the waist is 26. Now remember that when you're sewing a skirt, it's either high waist, which is your natural waist, or a low waist skirt. Now if to get the hip depth, to know where you're going to position your hip, take your hip measurement, you need to determine whether it's a high waist skirt or a low waist skirt. Now if it's a high waist skirt, you're going to do the normal pattern, which is the hip measurement divided by 4. Let's assume that the hip measurement is 36, divided by 4, it will be 9. Then you minus 1 inch, it will be 8. So you take from your natural waist 8 inches from your natural waist down. That is where you place your hip. But now because I'm sewing a low waist skirt, normally the distance between your natural waist and your low waist is 3 inches. But on few occasions it could be 4 inches, but mine is 3 inches. So what I'll do, I will make that measurement that I get for my hip depth, I will deduct the distance of the low waist from the high waist. Like for me, my hip, now let's say for example, if I take my waist measurement is 26. 26 gives us 6.5. Then I'll include 1 inch for sewing, or no, first of all 1 inch for that, then 1 inch for sewing. Now then after that, you now want to get your hip depth. Now the hip depth is supposed to be, for me it's supposed to be 8 3/4. So what I'll do, I'll deduct 5. 8 3/4 minus 3 inches, that's the distance between the waist, my low waist and my natural waist is 3 inches. So I'll do 8 3/4 minus 3 inches, it becomes 5 3/4. 5 3/4. I'll include ½ inch. Now the ½ inch I'm including is for allowance at the waist, to allow me either put a waistband, turn the waist with lining, or to pipe the waist. So what we have after that 5 3/4 plus ½ inches is 6 1/4. Mark that and join it. Thing to get is your skirt length. My skirt length is 20 inches. Now I'm not just going to take 20 inches. Like I told you before, I include all my allowances into the pattern. My skirt length is 20 inches. Now at the hem I hem my skirts with 1 inch. So I'll add 1 inch for hemming of the skirt, that makes it 21. Then the ½ inch for finishing the waist of the skirt, I also included, that makes it 21.5 is what I will cut my skirt length on the pattern. Then we come over to the hip. The hip measurement is, so 39 is 9 3/4. You do that and you add just the 1 inch for sewing. I use 1 inch for my sewing allowance. So what you do, you join them together. Then if it's a straight skirt, normally if it's a straight skirt, you can decide to, you use your hip measurements and place at the hem of your skirt also. 9 3/4 plus 1 made it 10 3/4. So you could easily come here and do 10 3/4, but no, that is not advisable because it will not give your skirt a good shape. Normally if you look at the female body, it's kind of curves in. It gives you like this shape that is supposed to be triangular. The hip is out and the knees are in. So what you're supposed to do, you take away from this hip measurement, that's the total hip measurement, that is the hip measurement and the sewing allowance gives us 10 3/4. You take away 1 inches and 1 inch, and that means it's just the 9 3/4 you put at the hem. Your skirt a good shape so it doesn't just stand straight like a box. To get a proper curve at your hip, the sewing allowance 1 inch is included here, your hemming allowance 1 inch is included here, your finishing allowance for your waist 1/2 inch is included here. Then you come to the waist, you take it down 1 inch. Now if you remember, that's for your abdomen arc. You understand? Normally, because you know the back of the waist, if you check the back of skirts waist are usually higher than the front, so you curve it, you take it down 1 inch and end it at the dart allowance. The dart allowance, you don't enter into the sewing allowance. 1/2 inch. So some people might prefer to use 3/8 as in 3/4, you understand, because they might feel that this is too much, but I think I've used this long enough to know that it's quite it's okay, it's not too much when you curve this. So we have our front pattern, easy, straightforward. You just place it on your fabric and you cut, but you have to fold. This is a, remember to always label, this is our center front. So you fold your fabric and you place it on the fabric. But if you're going to cut this skirt pattern on fold, it means you don't have to fold your fabric, you just have to open up the pattern and place it on the fabric and cut out. So you cut this one out, because like I always say, we are looking for faster and easier ways to get this thing done. The first thing you do, you get your 1 inch for zip allowance. My bust span is 7 divided by 2 from the center point. I'll divide it is 3.5. So this is what I will do. I'll do 3.5, then 1 inch for that. Take it down 4 inches. Get the middle of your dart 4 inches. So we have that. For the back, what you're going to do is you're just going to use your tracing wheel to trace it out. So we have the 1/2 inch. So what you just do, you just trace out the back pattern. So with that, we have the back piece for the skirt. Now what we do is that when you're ready to place it on your fabric, you just cut out this curve for the waist, and that's all you need to work with. Now for the draw the hip line. We have our waist measurement, we have our hip measurement, and we have our skirt length. Now we've also traced out our darts. So what you need to do now is draw it out. Now if you notice, there are sometimes, because of the shape of the female body, there are sometimes, especially, and also depending on how much bum somebody has, when you finish sewing your skirt, you notice that the back, there's a little excess at the back. Now that excess is there because normally the back of your skirt is supposed to have double darts. That is why you have that excess. But personally, so what I do, instead of putting those 2 darts, I take away 1 inch. I don't take it away from the side, so that the sides of the front and the back will be the same measurement. I take away 1 inch, just like when you're trying to adjust the back of a dress for excess at the zip side. I take away that 1 inch from the back at the zip area. join it straight to the hip line. But I still put my 1 inch, maintain my 1 inch sewing allowance. So this one we took out is going to handle that excess that is usually at the back. This way, when you place it on your body, you see that you have a perfect waist measurement. Like whatever I'll tell you is that at least I would have practiced this several times, and I knew that with that, if not, there used to always be this excess at the back, maybe because of the shape of my body. But after taking away, I discovered that I could take this away and it will just relax. Then off this, and this has taken care of that excess that is at the back of the waist. You have your one that, and then your skirt length. That's all. Then now another thing you also have to bear in mind is the hem of the skirt. Now there are some skirts, if it's a short skirt, of course I'm going to leave it like this. But if it's a long skirt, to give you that shape where the back of the skirt comes in beautifully, you come down here, you take it in. For some people, you know, sometimes it depends on how you want it to be, because for some people you can take it in 1 inch, some people you can take it in 1.5 inch, depending on how well shaped you want it to be. But to give that skirt, your skirt, a very good shape at the back, where it goes from your waist, it goes over your bum bum beautifully, then curves down, you understand, down to your knee area, before you now have to take away 1 inch from here. But remember, your zip allowance is still included in this pattern. But the most important thing is that your skirt is going to fit on your waist perfectly. Then it's going to give you, for a short skirt, like I said, if it's a short skirt, I will not bother to take in this 1 inch. But for a long skirt, you have to take this in order to give your skirt a very beautiful shape at the back. Over it, this one makes it go over your bum bum very beautifully. So that is it. So but if it's a short skirt, remember, if it's a short skirt, it remains like this. So now this is just all you need to know for your skirt pattern block. Let's take, for example, you have this in different sizes. It means that if it's done on a tough paper, you can a hard paper, you can just cut it out and keep. Then whenever you want to sew a skirt, you can just bring this out, place it on your paper, get the main foundation for that one, and you now alter it depending on the style you want to sew. So that is all for skirt pattern block made easy. That's all you need to know, no complicated. So if you remember, if you want to place this on your pattern, you fold your pattern, you cut out the waist, this waist curve, you place it on your fabric, and you just use your chalk, trace around it, and you cut it out. For the back, the same thing. Remember, the back is 2-piece, so you place it, cut it out, and that is all you would need to get your skirt. So if you've watched to this end, I hope this skirt pattern drawing was easy enough. In case you have any questions, remember to put them in the comment section. I'll try to make sure I answer whatever questions or whatever thing you do not or you're not clear about. Then also, I would like to thank you if you've watched to this end, and please do not forget to subscribe and follow me on my other social media handles, and see you on the next video.